Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Let us today learn the remaining part of the essay The Rule of the Road by A.G. Gardiner. I got into the railway carriage at a country station the other morning and settled down for what the schoolboys would call an hour sort at a blue book. The truth is that I never read blue books for pleasure. I read them for the very humble purpose of turning an honest penny out of them. Now, if you are reading a book for pleasure, it doesn't matter what is going on around you. Now here, the author gives another example of his journey in a train. He settled down to read blue book. A book containing official records, that is called as blue book. A book containing official records. Another word is sort. That means hard work. Now he says, for what the schoolboys would call an hour sort, hard study for an hour. That means, it means he was required to study this blue book seriously. The truth is that I never read blue books for pleasure. The author says he does not read blue books just for fun or to pass time. I read them for the very humble purpose of turning an honest penny out of them. Why I read blue books? Because I want to make an honest living. Turning an honest penny out of them means to perform duty with utmost devotion and sincerity and thus make an honest living. Now, if you are reading a book for pleasure, it doesn't matter what is going on around you. Now, when a person is reading a book for pleasure, just for amusement, he does not mind being disturbed. But when you are reading a thing as a task, you need reasonable quiet. But when a person is reading a thing as a task, he needs a quiet and calm atmosphere. And that is what I didn't get. Now the author says, I didn't get that quiet and calm atmosphere in order to read this blue book. For at the next station in came a couple of men, one of whom talked to his friend for the rest of the journey in a loud and pompous voice. Now, a couple of men entered the same compartment, and one of them started talking to his friend for the rest of the journey in a loud and pompous voice. Pompous means he behaved as if he was a man of special importance, as I wrestled with clauses and sections. Now here the word is, it means to struggle to deal with something, that is difficult. The author was struggling to read some of the clauses and sections in the blue book. His voice rose like a gale. The person who was talking in a loud voice, his voice, it rose like a gale. Gale means strong wind. But here it means the person was talking in a loud voice, and his family history, the deeds of his sons in the war, and his criticism of the generals and the politicians submerged my poor attempts to hang on to my job. The man went on talking about his family history, the deeds of his sons in the war, and his criticism of the generals and the politicians. Now, my poor attempts to hang on to my job. It was impossible for the author to continue reading Blue Book. I shut up the Blue Book, looked out of the window, and listened wearily while the voice thundered on with themes like these. The author had no alternative other than to shut the Blue Book, and he looked out of the window wearily in a tired way. He just listened to the voice of this person, and he was discussing the themes, uninteresting themes like these. Now, what the French ought to have done, the mistake the Germans made, if only Exclu had. Now, mistakes of the French, what French ought to have done, or what Exclu, it means a reference to Lord Oxford, a British statesman and writer. Now here we have 3 dots. You might have read it in your in punctuation. They are ellipses. Usually, this is employed when the whole is not related to the context of the discussion. I had heard it all before, oh so often. That was a commonplace talk. The man was talking, he was talking about uninteresting themes, and it was a commonplace talk. It was like a barrel organ. Barrel organ means a musical instrument. A kind of musical instrument. Now the voice of this person has been compared to the groaning, to the sound of the barrel organ. The barrel organ is a kind of musical instrument, and the word used here is like. So here we can say this is simile. Groaning out some uninteresting song of long ago. If I had asked him to be good enough to talk in a lower tone, I dare say he would have thought I was a very rude fellow. Now, the author says, if I had asked him to talk in a lower tune, the author says that the author would have been regarded as a rude person. Rude means impolite. Impolite. So if he had asked him to talk in a lower tune, the author says he would have been labeled as rude or impolite. It did not occur to him that everybody could have everything better to do than to listen to him, and I have no doubt he left the carriage convinced that everybody in it had, thanks to him, had a very illuminating journey. Now the author says the topics and the themes which he was discussing, they were all uninteresting, commonplace, monotonous. Now, but the man thought he was talking something enlightening. He thought that the passengers in the train might have benefited from his talks, and they were very informative. A reasonable consideration for the rights or feelings of others is the foundation of social conduct. Now, if we have consideration for the feelings of others, for the rights of others, and this is the foundation of the social conduct. I believe that the rights of small people and quiet people are as important to preserve as the rights of small nationalities. The author is of the view that the rights of small people and quiet people are as important to preserve as the rights of small nationalities. When I hear the aggressive bleating horn which some motorists deliberately use, I confess that I feel something boiling up in me, which is very like what I felt when Germany came trampling like a bully over Belgium. Now the word is here used, bully. It means to hurt or to frighten a weaker person. The author talks about some motorists driving in a hurry who begin blowing their bullying horns to get people out of their paths. This bullying horn, it irritates, it annoys us, as he felt when Germany invaded Belgium. By what right, my dear sir, do you go along our highway uttering that hideous curse? Hideous means very ugly and unpleasant. Very ugly and unpleasant. So hideous means very ugly and unpleasant. Annoying horn of the motor car, that is here called as hideous curse. The author wonders why these motorists can't blow the horn in lower tune on those who impede. Impede means who hinder your path, who are in the path of the motorist. So, in order to get people out of their paths, they should blow the horns in a lower tune, and they should not use aggressive blowing horns to get people out of their paths. Cannot you announce your coming like a gentleman? Cannot you take your turn? Thank you.